to assess Hong Kong and its relations with the mainland over the past 20 years. Yang Xiyu joins us live from Beijing. He's a senior fellow at the China Institute of International Studies. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
So I want to get your take on President Xi's visit to Hong Kong so far. And we'll also want to ask you, how does Beijing see the one country, two systems? Why does it see it as non-negotiable?
Well, that principle on governing Hong Kong regarding relating to the sovereignty of China. So on sovereign issue, that's always non-negotiable. That's the matter of dignity of Chinese national and justice of the internationals. So that's extremely non-negotiable. But under this principle, the two sides, I mean the mainland and the Hong Kong side, should make a joint efforts to contribute the success of implementing the one country, two systems. So that is the basic idea of central government in Beijing, and also the benefits of both of the sides.
Do you think 2 decades is enough time to judge how this system has worked so far?
Well, I would say by this way, one country, two systems, that is the political innovation. That is the first time and the first use in governance on the globe. So through the past 2 decades of practices, China has achieved great successes. Meanwhile, such principles and its implementation need to be further improved. For the further improvement, we need both sides' joint contributions and continue the innovation. But basically, the achievements and the progresses during the past 2 decades has proved that the one country, two systems is the best way to maintaining the stabilities and sustainable prosperities in Hong Kong. Through the 2 decades, Hong Kong has been successful in dealing with the financial crisis in 1990s and 2008, has maintaining the sustainable development and also increased their international competitiveness and openness. So all the achievements and practices need to be continued.
How would you think, or how would you describe the way that people on the mainland view people in Hong Kong and vice versa? And does that view change by generation?
Well, I think in recent years, there have been obvious divisions and divided views between peoples of Hong Kong and the mainland, especially between peoples among Hong Kongs within Hong Kongs. Regarding such divisions are quite various, relating to different views on election model, different views on the gap between the rich and the poor in the Hong Kong society, and different views regarding to the model of developments. But I think all the different views can be solved by joint efforts in the practice and implementation of the one country, two systems. But I need to say, among the differences, there are very few people, they called for the so-called independence of Hong Kong from China. That is totally unacceptable. So I think such political views and its practices has been referring to the activities against the law. So except such illegal activities, all the differences among peoples can be solved through further exchanges and cooperations between the two sides.
You know, some of us of a certain age don't think that 20 years is a very long time. In fact, it can go very quickly. You mentioned some more exchanges, some improvements. So what challenges would you say still lie ahead?
Well, I think the challenges facing both Hong Kong and the mainland on the practice of the one country, two systems lies in two fronts. One front is the political model. For example, in recent years, there have been some protests in Hong Kong. The participants insist on the quite varied views. Some people want to introduce American model of election or British model election or some model else. And the other challenges is how to maintain the sustainable prosperities with the inclusive development. For the first challenge, I think we need to explore our political systems between two sides to improve the election model, the political model better fit to Hong Kong's society. And in fact, there's no existing the so-called best model for election in the world. So no one can say this model is better than the other. The key factor for model of the election lies in the justice and the fairness, and based on the political stabilities. Without the political stabilities, no model of elections would be workable and useful. And regarding to the economic challenges, especially the inclusive development, I think both Hong Kong people and mainland people should join hand in hand to deal with the very unique challenges facing both of the sides. Only the united efforts, joint efforts, can deal with the challenges. With the divisions, I think no parties will be winner.
All right, Mr. Yang Xiyu, thank you so much for joining us from Beijing.